Good afternoon. My name is Tom. I come to you from the great state of Maine. Welcome to my shooting range. Enos, I got the shooting range in. If I want to really stretch it out, I can shoot from my porch and it's 100 yards. Down here in the backyard, we have 75-yard shot at the stone wall, and we have 50 yards from here down. So I got my 100 yards if I really want to stretch it out. But this is really only a place, I really wanted a place for pistols, and if I do need to shoot a rifle, if I bump it or bang it, and I just want to, I want to just test fire it really quick so I can make sure everything is still on. This is what I wanted, so here we are. But that's not what today's video is. That'll be the next video. I had a couple of comments that came in, a couple guys that wanted to see two things. One wanted to see my bench rest for when I'm working up loads over at the shooting range, and another one wanted to see my deer hunting rifle. This is the deer hunting rifle that I've been carrying since I was 19 years old. Bought it at Kmart for $199. So I got my money's worth out of it. It shot bear, caribou, bucks, does, rabbits, partridge, boy, you name it. Ptarmigan, when we was on the caribou hunt, ptarmigan. I don't think I've shot any squirrels with it, but I know I've taken some headshots on ptarmigan and partridge, and as well as rabbits. So it's you know, it's been an all-around good gun for me. 76 model 7600 Remington pump. Back when I bought that thing, there was pumps everywhere. I guess now they're a little harder to find. I don't know. Hot cup of coffee. That sucker's hot. I just poured it so I could come down here and make today's video. But anyways, for the guy that wanted to see my rifle rest, this is it right here. His question is what do I set the gun on back here? Now I didn't bring them down because I didn't feel like lugging them. But I do, when I go to the shooting range, I have 2 sandbags that I will set back here to bury the butt of that rifle in, or any rifle. The reason I go with this, this is a piece of steel right here with a little bit of a cushion on it and then just wrapped in duct tape. That is to protect my shoulder. That's it. You know, some of you guys, you don't mind getting the snot kicked out of you by all them big rifles. Me, myself, and I, we don't like it. Not even a little bit. It does a couple of things. It makes you a piss poor shot. If you shoot these big rifles time and time again, eventually they're gonna tear up your shoulder enough, and you're gonna develop a twitch and everything else. So I prefer not to. When it comes time to shoot, I shoot. But when I'm at the shooting range, I don't need to be getting my shoulder pounded up with these big rifles. And there's bigger ones out there. You guys are crazy. But anyways, here it is. I do have, if you see the front, I did take a close-up video of it. There's a block on the front of this thing that sits down over the table at the shooting range, along with another one of these pieces of angle iron that goes down the front of the bench. And that locks that thing in place when it's time to fire. I also put some sandbags over the front. So over the front of this thing, I'll lay in some sandbags, sandbag back here. And this is just something that I put together many years ago. I realized that you can buy them. I've always been a country boy. I always have enjoyed building my own equipment. This is one of the pieces of equipment that I've added. There's a date on the bottom of it. I built this particular one in 2007. Whenever I build something, you flip it over and you'll find a date. This was built in 2007. It's out of pressure treated. So I've gotten a few years out of it, and lots and lots and lots of bullets have been shot out across it. I've had no problems with it. So if you want to try building it, go for it. It's easy to build. I know you're a builder, so you'll have no problem at all building it. These are just plain carriage bolts on both ends. Then I chopped them off with bolt cutters, pounded the bottoms, and that's, I wouldn't be surprised if that one might have been countersunk. I'd have to flip it over and look. I built it back in 2007, I don't quite remember. But it sets flat on the table, so that has to be countersunk back there. And then, you know, pretty straightforward. But that's my rifle rest when I go to the shooting range. Put my shoulder in here. This is just, well, rest is all there. But anyways, same thing with my scope cover. I did a video years on back on making my scope cover. That is just a piece of inner tube and 5 seconds out in the workshop. I can rip off as many of those as I want for scope covers. The only time I carry a scope cover is on a rainy day. I will cover it, even in the fish house, even in the hunt shack. Keep the moisture off the scope. When it's time to make the shot, it takes nothing to flip that off. I do have the other ones, the flip ones, but it seems like they always open when I don't want them to open. Something I've always got to deal with. So I don't deal with this. Fold this up, put it in my pocket. No big deal at all. I shoot, I have always shot 150 grain bullets with this gun. But 2 years ago I switched over to 180 grain. Basically because of the moose hunt. I got to go on a couple of moose hunts. So I figured a bigger bullet. You know, what was it? Last October, I did the moose hunt with my father. And then the year we got the moose, and he got drawn last time. So, but anyways, 180 grain bullet. I forget the powder and all that measurements. I have to look in my book, look up the recipe. I know it's IMR 4350. As far as the number of grains, I can't remember the number of grains on powder. But that's it, nothing fancy. I did put on a different scope 2 years ago. I had a buck that was coming out right in that, you know, that last half hour. And my other scope, I didn't have enough daylight getting into it. So while it was still legal hunting time, it was a little too dark to shoot the deer. So I changed out my scope 2 years ago. This one is really good in them last few minutes of legal hunting time. So that's all I wanted. So let's see how that plays out this year. But been doing the last minute yard work around here. Winter's on its way. I got a couple of more projects to do before actual hard winter sets in. It's mainly just moving stuff around and getting it in place for the winter and making room now for the ice fishing stuff. making room for the ice fishing stuff, and go from there. But that's all I really got to say. Maybe we'll switch the subject here now and either talk about deer hunting or talk about ice fishing that's coming up. But right now, I got too much more to say about that, other than a couple of guys wanted to see a close-up of this, and some guy would give me the dickens for not taking out my, I don't even remember his name. That's why I say some guy would give me the dickens. He had more of a little snitty comment. Was it'd been nice to see this. It'd been nice to see the pump. So anyways, here you are. Don't take offense. I like making fun. I got to. You know how many comments I get? Anyways, there it is. Well, I just moved this picnic table in for the shooting range. I got some pie plates down there, some half-inch pie plates for shooting. I got my regular targets I'll be lugging down. I really want to shoot the 22s here and my pistols. And I want to practice offhand shooting. So this will be a perfect place to come down, shoot a few rounds. I've got a couple of guns that I've built up just for that, kind of fun to shoot. One's a 44 Magnum rifle, and the other is a 45 long Colt rifle, lever action. Just come down, shoot them pie plates offhand with those big pistol rounds. And I'll set the camera up. Well, we're into deer season now, so I'm just wrapping up my odds and ends because I am going to camp. I am going to camp for the first trip is 10 days. I got to tell, well, first trip I got to take my next grandson in. So he's going in for 2 days. We'll be coming out on Sunday, and then I'll be rolling back in on Monday morning with propane, extra food, all that kind of stuff. Extra water. I'll keep water out in the truck. I'll keep some propane out in the truck just in case I need more. And then there's already enough food in there. But anyways, we'll see what happens. 2 years ago we got the 9-point buck. And that was on the first day by 8 o'clock in the morning. So who knows, you know? I do have a doe permit. I got a doe permit this year. And I got my regular buck tag. I would like to, I'm hoping for 2. I would really like to turn a doe into sausage. If I could, that would be really sweet. I've got some leftover meat up in the refrigerator that could be turned into sausage. And I wouldn't mind, other than the back straps, I wouldn't mind turning a doe into some sausage. So we'll see what happens. Or between the two, whatever it takes. Been a windy day. It was supposed to rain all day yesterday. It didn't rain all day yesterday. Rained until about 10 o'clock in the morning. But by that time I was already this deep in the reloading room. So I stayed in the reloading room for most of the day and just kind of enjoyed the moment. And realized you still can't trust the weatherman. I haven't checked the weather too far away anyways on my 10-day hunt. But it'll be pretty nice to be setting into Beaver Creek for, I hope not the whole 10 days, because if I sit there the whole 10 days, and that means I've worked really hard, and I still didn't get a deer. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. I like my hunt to be around the, I like the 14th and the 15th, right in the middle of my hunting trip. Most of my deer, my bucks, I have shot right around the 15th. If you go back and look at the calendar, and you go back and look at the dates, I always write down the dates, all that goes with them. And if you look at those dates, it's always right around the 14th and 15th. So maybe it'll happen that way again. Well, anyways, you guys have a great week. I know this was just about the rifle and the shooting thing, but I got so much on my mind right now, making sure everything's done and making plans for deer camp, that I'm finding it very difficult to concentrate. Concentrate on everything. All I want to do is be sitting in that tree stand. And hopefully it'll warm up just a little bit. It doesn't need to be really cold, does it? Alrighty, you guys have a great week. I'll see you next week.